Hey, what's going on? So I just finished up a video, and I touched on a subject in there that is extremely important, and it's the fact that the RDAs are not accurate. They just aren't. So here in America, the RDAs are the recommended daily amounts of certain micro and macronutrients that you'll see on the reverse side of any label. That's just what it sounds like. It's a recommendation. It's a very, very loose recommendation. And as you may imagine, with people in general, we're all different. We all have unique nutritional needs, and we all live in different environments and have different activity levels. So there's literally no way to quantify one specific serving or dosage per person that's just going to be uniform across the spectrum of humanity. It's impossible. So the RDA almost set everybody up for a massive failure, because it gives you this artificial security blanket of thinking, well, hey, listen, I looked on the back of my cereal or the back of my whole grain buns, and it says, hey, I'm good to go with iron, for example, or I'm good to go with vitamin C because I drank this beverage. But there's so much more going on beneath the surface that many people don't realize. Where does that vitamin C come from? Is it a whole food derivative, or is it more of a synthetic ascorbic acid? And those are questions that I think we need to start asking ourselves a whole lot more, because it's great to understand that we need to have that health and wellness and to start a really good routine in our lives in order to amplify our own health, wellness, vitality, longevity, all of that. And it starts at the cell from the inside out, and that's great. But then to take it a few steps further, to be really strategic about it, is where you see the big differences made. So if you want to do that, this information should be really important to you, because the RDA, at least here in the USA, the government's recommendations haven't really changed or been updated in nearly a century. As a matter of fact, their last really significant update to the RDAs was in 1941, and we're talking like basically pre-World War era. Things were much different back then. The soil mineral content was much different back then. We have a lot of over agriculture today. We have depleted soil, and so to bridge that gap in order to basically satisfy and fulfill what you're not going to get from the food supply, including organic foods, is if they're not using good soil, the end result is not going to be good. You start with crap, you're going to end with crap. And so what I found to really overcome those deficiencies is Think Zinc Plus. And Think Zinc Plus has been like a lifesaver. I mean, almost literally. But the reason why it's been so excellent is because it's super easy to introduce into your wellness regimen. But it's not just zinc. It's called Think Zinc Plus for a reason, and that plus is really where a lot of the power in the supplement is. And so it's zinc, it's magnesium, it's vitamin C from the camu berry down in South America in the rainforest, and then it's actually in a liquid carrier base that is MCT oil from organic coconuts, black currant berry oil, which is unbelievably high in essential fatty acids. And then all of that is basically wrapped up and emulsified in an all-natural, GMO-free sunflower lecithin. So there's no soy, there's no palm oil or anything like that. But keep that in mind. That's really important, you guys. The RDA has not been updated in almost a century, but it's been decades. And even when it is updated, this is the most important thing that I'll leave you with, a final thought. Those recommendations are really made for one specific reason. And this is all disclosed and admitted by the government. People just don't know where to access the information or really have the time or interest to do so. But they'll actually openly admit in the documentation that these amounts are being recommended in order to avoid severe deficiencies leading to chronic illness or disease. And so whenever you look on the back of your nutrition label on any of the foods or the vegetables that you're eating, just know that two things are working against you, unfortunately. The first one being that those numbers are not accurate, because the soil that they're being grown in is definitely overused, and it's not replenished with the phosphorus and the calcium and the magnesium and all the other trace and essential elements that need to go back into the soil. And then number two, even if it says you're hitting 50%, 60%, 100% of your RDA, what that literally means isn't 100% of what you as an individual need. It's 100% of what someone pushing a pencil at the government said that you need to avoid getting really, really sick 80 years ago. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's a great solution, and the solution is absolutely ThinkZync Plus. They go way over the RDA. They have a crazy amount of science to back up their product. And I just want to let you guys know to be vigilant, to make sure you know what you're putting in your body, and to hold companies and food producers accountable so that we can have a better food supply chain tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks a lot for watching.